Hey there, you're listening to Genoa's Arcs, a self-reflective podcast exploring transformation with purpose, honoring growth and connection through awareness and presence. This is your host, Genoa K. Before we begin, a quick disclaimer. This episode contains reflections on trauma and emotional recovery. It is not intended as a substitute for professional advice. Please trust yourself and seek support as needed from a licensed mental health or healthcare provider. The views expressed are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect those of any guests, sponsors, or platform providers. Welcome to Arc 2, Passage into the Mountain Beneath the Surface. This series is part of the 6 arcs, a spiral journey into emotional recovery. Each arc contains 10 episodes. This second arc invites you inwards into the quiet, messy, and often misunderstood terrain beneath your polished patterns. Here, we don't bypass, we don't perform. We spiral into the truth beneath the noise, the grief beneath the anger, the creativity beneath the chaos. Not to conquer the mountain, but to understand what it's made of. This is where the real voice begins to emerge. This is the first episode of Arc 2. Welcome to the mountain. This time, we don't go around and we don't climb over. We make a tunnel. This is where the spiral begins. Arc 1 was about reclaiming innocence. Arc 2 is about what happens when life hands you a mirror and you have no choice but to look deeper. Not to push through it, not to escape it, not to perform healing like a checklist, but to descend, to spiral inward, to listen beneath the surface. Part 1, a slow excavation. The mountain metaphor isn't about getting over it. We're not climbing, we're not conquering. We're tunneling in, like a slow excavation machine, rotating and dislodging what's been buried, making room for something more spacious. That's what this arc is about, making space inside what feels heavy. This is where healing stops being performative and starts getting personal, where your creativity gets stripped down and reassembled, where you don't just create despite the chaos, you create because of it, because it's the only thing that makes the chaos make sense. Part 2, Beneath the Surface. Let's take a breath together. Say this if it feels true. I'm willing to go beneath the surface, even if I don't know what I'll find. This is the arc of breakdowns, emotional friction, creative release. It's where your voice begins to tremble, and in that trembling, starts to tell the truth to yourself. Part 3, Exploring each layer. Each episode in this arc will explore a layer of the spiral. What happens when emotions get louder than logic? When creative clarity disappears? When the tools that used to work suddenly don't? When you're not sure if you're healing or hiding? And when, even without a clear path out, you begin to hear something new inside yourself. Not a roar, more like a whisper, a flicker of steadiness, a thin thread you decide to follow. Part 4, Closing Reflection. There's nothing linear about this. You might revisit old pain. You might spiral back to things you thought you'd already healed. That doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're doing the work. In this arc, we spiral inward. We stay with it. We trust the digging, because eventually what gets unearthed becomes the material we create with. On the next episode, we'll talk about the strange clarity that comes during emotional upheaval, how your most honest voice sometimes rises in the middle of the storm. Until next time, take good care. This space is supported by listener contributions and occasional sponsors. If you found value in today's episode and would like to help sustain this work, you'll find ways to do so in the show notes. It's always optional and deeply appreciated. Thank you for helping keep this space sustainable. Genoa's Arcs is written, recorded, and produced by Genoa K. Original music composed and produced by Genoa K.